What is going on, Privy Nation? This is Investor Thrive Nation. We are here live and ready to get some freaking deals. What's up, Nate?
Yo, what's going on, everybody? Man, I always get excited for Fridays, not just because it's Friday, but because we get to use. I mean, I was gonna say one of my favorite softwares, but I honestly I think this probably is my favorite.
I know you love
It,
Privy.
man, and I just started using it too, and bro, this thing jumped into first place quick.
I know you love it, bro. That's good. Henry, we got one of our favorite mentorship members. We love all of them, but we got Henry on here. What's up, Henry?
What's up, guys?
What's up, dude?
Hey, Henry.
You've been putting in the work, Henry. You said that you got a buyer for one of the deals that we're doing together? Is that right?
Yeah, so actually, I got contact with some buyer. So yesterday I told you that one buyer they want only 3% down payment, and then
Mm-hmm.
the second buyer they want 3 years interest with 3 year balloons.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And now this morning I had another buyer that they want to schedule the show winner for that property and
Mm-hmm.
for buyer.
Okay.
Yeah.
So didn't one of them? So me and Henry brought me a deal. He's in my mentorship, so I helped him negotiate it, and we got zero down, 2 year balloon on a property in Fort Myers. And Henry, didn't someone say we got it 300,000. We marked it up to 340, and we have someone that's willing to put $40,000 down, right, Henry?
Yes, so the second buyer they agree with the purchase price and then the down payment, but they want 3% for 3 year
They want
balloon.
they want 3% in 3 years. I have it right now at two. So I'm either gonna have to negotiate with the seller to give me another year or get them just the buyer to give me just to do 2 years. So we got a couple things. We got some live things that we can do right now that can help you guys see, how to negotiate. Not that we need to do that. This is the privy call, but I'm just like I said, I bring Henry on. I love that he's taking action. So congrats. Let's get this deal done, man. Let's make it happen. All right.
Yeah, so I send the info in the private chat for the third buyer. Her name is Uni Ebanks.
So she is a buyer, or is she an agent?
Yeah, so I send her the deal to her email, and then she replied back to me, and so can you schedule a showing for this property next week after Tuesday? Yeah.
Before I jump the gun and I give her a call and we start scheduling appointments, you got to verify, brother. You don't know who this person is. They could be a phony. We're gonna have to verify. All right. So
Mhm.
so that's kind of maybe the some that can be the theme today. A lot of people are going to want to see that you talk to on Privy. A lot of agents are going to be like, "Hey, come see the house before you make an offer. Come do this and do that." You want to verify you're not wasting your time. So I'm going to verify that I'm not wasting my time with this girl named Uni Ebanks. I feel like I've seen that name. She might be a wholesaler. I'm just kidding. I don't know, but you got to verify. You got to make sure you're not wasting your time. So yeah. So let's freaking get into it. Nathan, do you have anything you got to say?
Nah, man, dude, I think it's so funny what you were just talking about with making sure to verify it. That may sound overly simplistic, but guys, it's especially if you're doing stuff virtual, right? If you're calling or sending mailers or whatever, honestly, I, the only time I have ever met in person with a seller was on the first deal I ever did. I've done a lot of contracts since then. Never met the seller, never been to the house. Um, Now, there's some things you got to watch out for because when you're talking to someone on the phone, they could be anyone, right? And if you're talking to the wrong person, not only are they going to be wasting your time, but it can get you in a lot of trouble. If you're thinking things are one way, I remember we just not that long ago, we thought we had a massive deal on the hook, and the seller was difficult. Now we weren't the contact with the seller; it was a JV deal that was brought to us. Um, but long story short, the person that was talking on the phone with the wholesaler wasn't who they were set. They were basically lying, trying to get money
They lied.
up front, like before going to title or anything. So guys, always verify. And you can typically, trust your gut with stuff like that. When you start asking questions, about the property, the situation, if they're being really weird, or you're just like, this, like, dude, something's not adding up here. Trust your gut. You're probably right.
Yeah, if it doesn't feel good, it usually isn't. There's always something going on. All right. So I want to give a shout out to Ben. We just bring Ben. What's up, Ben? Ben just joined the Investor Side Mentorship. So I wanted to say shout out. What's up, bro? And by the way, I see a bunch of people that are on here that have joined our club. This call, just to let you guys know, I do this live on Privy, but I also send this out to our group, and it's supposed to be for the mentorship. You guys all, I don't know how you got the link, but welcome. I'm glad that you guys are here. Let's learn. It's all good. If you guys have any questions, you just throw it in that chat. I'm here to help you guys out. Why not? You're here. Why not? Let's learn.
Yeah, well, let's go.
Oh, Ben, what's up, dude? Can you hear me? You got your mic on mute.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Welcome, Ben. Good to have you here, man. Ben, have you ever used Privy before?
Yeah, I'm signed up. I've been using it for a few months.
Awesome. Okay, cool. So what we're going to do, Ben, I just want to bring you on and say what's up. But today we're going to call a deal right now. We're going to call a seller that wants to see a seller finance deal I have in Florida. She says she can put $40,000. Is that right, Henry? She's saying she can put $40,000 down. She can do it, but she wants like 3 years. Is this the lady I'm calling right now?
No. This is another buyer I just talked to this morning.
What did they offer?
They just replied to me. Can you schedule a showing? That's it. So they.
I love it, Henry. This is a great learning experience for you, brother. If I email someone and they say immediately they don't give me an offer, they don't give me any credentials, and they want to see a house, no way. I'm not just scheduling an appointment for you. I got to talk to you. Have you talked to this person? I'm not roasting you, Henry. This is great for you to learn. Have you talked to them on the phone at all?
Yeah. So me and her texting, and then
texting. All right.
Yeah. So on her email, she listed her name, and then she say her job, and then her company.
What's her job and company? What is it? I'm gonna guess what it is immediately.
It's her job is a new construction sales, and then her company Metro Home Builder, something like that.
Okay, home builder. Okay, all right. And let me ask you, were you just emailing her from the buyers list I give you, or how did you get her info? Just curious.
All right, so I email from your top cash buyer list, and then
it's a cash. Okay, cool. I thought you'd just send this out because what Henry did, everybody just don't do this. He went on to like Facebook, and he just put in the sub-2 community and just a bunch of other wholesaler groups looking for a buyer. And he posted, no wholesalers, only want buyers. 99% of the people in those groups are wholesalers. So if you want a JV, that's fine. But if you're looking for a buyer, that's not who you're going to get. So I just want to make sure it wasn't them. Let me call her. And by the way, I know we haven't showed Privy yet, but I think this is a great example of pretty much like how to vet someone before, setting up a showing. So I'm hesitant about this showing just because I'm buying it for someone that's Airbnb-ing it. The seller is Airbnb-ing it. And she doesn't want to bother the tenants that are Airbnb-ing it until the end of the month when we can purchase it. So I'm not trying to like, hey, can I go in there and show it and this person not be legit? It's not worth my time. I don't want to mess this up. If it's vacant, yeah, send the whole world through there if it's vacant, right? So let's call Uni, and then we'll dive into some. And by the way, if you guys have any questions, throw it in the chat. It's good to see you. If there's any questions coming through on the YouTube, let's freaking get to it. So I'm going to call Uni that wants to schedule an appointment to see the house. Now let me ask you guys a question really quick. I'm not going to show a house. I'm not going to set up a showing until someone's like has a legit offer and wants to buy it. Then I'll do it. But let me ask you, do you think she really needs to see the house before giving me an offer if this is what the house looks like? Let me show you right here. House is completely fine. It's remodeled. It's an Airbnb. It was just listed and she took it off. Like, what do you need to see the house for? at this point. Now, I'm not like coming at her and being like, why do you need to see the house? I'm just letting you guys know. Vet stuff. Henry, I'm not just going to set up an appointment for someone to go see it in this situation, which obviously I should have probably told you a little bit more about the situation. But there's really no reason to go see it unless you're gonna lock it up and you can give me exactly what I want, or we can negotiate a little bit before we do that. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So let's call her.
Hello.
Hi, Uni. How you doing?
I'm good. How about yourself?
Doing really good. My name is Nathan. I work with Henry, and I think you've been texting him back and forth about the property that we have for sale in Fort Myers.
Mm-hmm. Correct.
Yeah. So I just wanted to ask you some questions before we kind of move further down the line, down the process to potentially show you the house. Is that okay?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm just kind of curious, are you a buyer? Are you a flipper? Are you a wholesaler? Are you looking to buy this for yourself? Like, what was your plan on this property? Just curious.
I do all of the mention about you said.
Okay. You do it all.
So I buy, wholesale, hold and keep, flip, all of that stuff in all these areas.
I love it.
Naples, Cape Coral, Fort Myers.
Perfect. Are you an agent as well, or just an investor?
No, I hold a real estate license because I normally the ones I'm gonna wholesale. Like I just got one from another wholesaler who transferred over to me.
Cool.
We're just finishing that one up. We closed last week Friday. We finished that one up, and I'm gonna list it. Actually, I haven't even listed, and I already got it sold.
I love it.
So I work with a lot of buyers also.
Perfect.
In the area. So if I know it's a good one for flipping, because I've been doing new construction in the whole area here, like Fort Myers, Cape Coral. I have connections with a lot of buyers, so I can always connect them. Or they call me and say, hey, if you have something available, I can move in, all the time.
Okay. I love it. Sounds like you're very experienced, and I appreciate that. So I'm just curious, like what our goal was to find like a homestead buyer, like someone that would live in it. And I know that if you're an investor, you're not going to move into this thing. So what was your end goal? Because I know we.
No.
Yeah, go ahead.
Normally, what I was going to do more than likely was gonna see, because he had mentioned something about short-term rental, about $4,000 a month.
How much? Sorry, how much did he say?
4,000 a month.
No, I don't think it's 4,000. I think it's the seller told us it was around 3,000.
Yeah. I know the area really well, and this is why I wanted to see what the state of the house was inside.
It's in perfect condition. Yeah.
If I could actually do short term, what does the neighborhood look like when I drive by the street? Because Fort Myers has variations, like literally one street over to the next one, it can mean a whole difference.
Totally get it.
And when you're doing short-term rentals, you want to make sure you're not in a creepy street, because that is going to, like, for example, I had a short-term rental where a lot of these people, before they were booking, I realized that they were using Google Earth Map.
Right.
So they were relating to the property, like next to the neighbor had a lot of junk next to it, even though the whole street was really nice. The house that I was having as a short-term rental, the next one to it, the neighbor was really nasty. So he had
totally
a lot of junk.
Yeah. So let me ask you.
A lot of people were like, thinking about it twice before they booked it.
I totally get it. So we actually have receipts on this one of like what she's bringing in. So you can drive by it. So this is the situation. I'm an investor as well. I know what you're doing. I do the same thing. I was looking again for like someone who's going to move into it. Now, if you're able to buy it and still make money off of it, I have no problem with that. But you just got to see, like,
based on the numbers I've done quickly in my head, that's not the type of property. Based on the price, that you really can't make a penny out of it.
Agreed. I don't think that's why we're not trying to sell it to someone that's trying to make a penny. We're trying to sell it to someone that would live in it.
It's either gonna be it's gonna be a hold for long-term rental. This is not gonna be a flip. This house is not a type of flip.
Agreed.
Not in the price that it is.
100.
It's actually already overpriced.
100% agree with you. Was Henry trying to sell this to you as a flip? Because that's not what we're trying to do.
Not really. I think he just mentioned about the short term, what the entry fee was, 340 was a sale. I'm assuming your wholesale fee is already there. But based on the recent comps that I did, and I went to the MLS and I saw recent sales, they're being selling for $299, $300.
You got it.
That's what the most price is there already.
Exactly. Yeah. So this is not a good investment for you. So if you have a buyer that's like a homestead buyer or someone that would live in it, we'd gladly let you bring that and then, give you a little bit of the fee. But yeah, definitely you're not going to want to buy this one at all. This is not an investment for you.
No, this is probably not a flip.
It is not a flip.
Buy a lot of long terms.
Yeah, this is not a flip in the least bit. 0%. If you look at the pictures, you can't flip this thing. This is in pristine condition. This is, like I said, we're trying to sell this to someone that's going to live in it. So if you have someone that, like a family that that has a lot of money down in bad credit, then yes, bring them and we'll work with you. But Uni, I appreciate your time. I wish you the best. Absolutely. And hopefully we can do some deals together in the future.
Absolutely. All right. Thank you so much.
Have a good one. Bye. All right. So Nathan, you're out there laughing, bro.
Bro, you got me dying over here. One, because I've been in conversations like that so many times. So there's actually a lot of really good things to take away from that, guys. I'm just going to point a few of them
This
out.
Isn't a flip. I'm like, no one said this was a flip deal, yo.
Exactly. And so the funny thing is, guys, as wholesalers, I see and I hear guys do that all the time, to where, like, as wholesalers, we're that person on the other end of the phone where we're talking to a seller. We're like, yeah, but the numbers don't make sense. And the seller's like, dude, my house doesn't need any repairs. I wasn't even thinking about selling it. I'm telling you, I'm not interested. And we're like, well, I could maybe come up a little bit on this. And the guy's like, dude, I just told you I wasn't even looking to sell it. Right. And so we get this back and forth. And so what happened? Well, we could say, oh, well, the woman, Uni, that you're speaking with, oh, well, she's trying to work through the objections and work at it. There's no deal to be had there. She's just wasting her own time and wasting, killing kind of her opportunity to be able to move on to the next person that might be the right seller for her. 100%. And then the other thing I want to point out is, guys, just ask the obvious questions. I feel like I bring this one up a lot. It's so simple, but it's so crucial, and it'll be a game changer if you guys just start asking the obvious questions. Like, and when I say obvious question, that's literally, like all the questions that Nathan, you asked, you and Henry were talking about before. We're like, well, is she this? Is she that? Is she this? Called her up, and you were just like, hey, are you this? Are you a flipper? Are you a wholesaler? Like, what is it you're looking to do? Right? And she tells you. And then, the next, question comes up that's most obvious. You just asked it. And then the last thing I'll leave everybody with is, as soon as you realize, like, yeah, this is not our buyer, or this is not my seller, immediately you assertively are trying to be like, okay, great. Well, hey, yeah, this is definitely not the fit for us, but I really appreciate your time. Boom, click, right? And we're trying to get off the phone politely, right? There's nothing wrong with that. Politely move on. We don't want to waste any more of her time or ours. So yeah, no, and I was just, that was a funny conversation.
Yeah, this is, as a new investor, this was going to happen to you, Henry. It's okay, bro. We're here for you. That's why I did this, because Henry, you have this person says, I want to buy it. She says, let me see it. You call the seller, you set up an appointment. She walks it. She has no intention of buying. It's okay. She has buyers. She doesn't even know what's going on. And no offense, but she it's not a flip deal. I think she was trying to do something like that. And you just wasted the seller's time, your time, her time, by not just asking those questions and being like, what's your strategy with this thing? Are you a flipper? Are you a wholesaler? I'm looking to sell this to an end buyer. And she's like, this ain't a flip. Yeah, that's what I said. Of course, look at the pictures. Why do you need to see it? So I get a little emotional. I get a little annoyed with this, because this happens to everyone. This happens to everybody that's on this call, that's watching this. You are going to waste your time if you don't know what you're doing. And it just happens. Okay. So Henry, I hope that was a lesson to you, bro. Anyone that you're talking to that wants to buy this house from us, you got to find out, are they an agent? Are you a wholesaler? Are you a family? Are you representing a family? Okay. Now that's who we're looking for in this situation. This is not an investment property. This is an end buyer. We're trying to find agents that have families and, or an investor that's okay with not flipping it. Right. And just wants a short-term rental. So anyway, Any questions? Any questions, Nate, Henry? Any questions? Anybody from that's watching this?
Yeah, she keep talking about looking for flip deals, and then I don't even mention to her this property breakdown or something like that, and then yeah, and then she told us that she do everything from wholesale, flipping, long term rental, stuff like that.
But all she does is wholesale. I guarantee it. She ain't developing nothing. No, I'm not trying to roast her. I'm just saying, like, be genuine too, bro. Like when I call people, like, and they're like, "Do you wholesale?" Yeah, I do wholesale, and she did admit it. But don't try and be flexing. And maybe she is. Maybe she's the greatest land developer of all time. Maybe, who knows? Maybe she's great. But all I'm saying is, be genuine, be real. And she did a good job. She was real about what she did. But anyway, Henry, anybody watching this, and if you have anyone who wants to buy your house, call them before you set up an appointment, especially if the house is not vacant. If it's vacant, then freaking send the whole world through. If it's not, and especially if you do this, using Privy, and these are on market deals, you're probably going to have to, what's the word? You're probably going to have to set it up through the real estate agent, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right. Nate, you got anything you want to add to that, brother?
Bro, nah, man, I love the call. I think the one last thing that I'll just add to it is what was I just about to say? Is when asking the questions, right? I feel like sometimes we can get in our own head and we're like, well, what if I ask him, the obvious question of like, hey, are you a wholesaler? Are you a flipper? Like, what is it? Hey, like, what is it you're looking to do? I feel like sometimes we get in our own heads of like, but what if they come back of like, well, why do you need to know? Like, why is that your business? Guys, if one, don't worry about that objection. That almost, I don't know if I've really even come across that. And it's okay if you do, one, that just might not be the person you want to do business with. But two, that the very simple answer, if somebody does do that, is just, guys, crazy thing, just say the truth, right? And be willing to be vulnerable. And what I mean by that is if we were to ask her like, hey, so are you like a wholesaler? Are you flipper? Like, what are you looking to do? And she's like, look, why is that of any concern to you? I'd just be like, well, I mean, to be honest, I'm looking to be, I don't want to waste my time. Of course, I don't want to waste yours. I know if you're looking to wholesale this, I know we're really not looking to go that route. And I know you said you wanted to get inside the property, unless you're looking to buy it to like live in yourself, that this probably wouldn't be a good fit for you. So that's kind of why I'm asking that question. Right. And then the person, and it's guys, just not rocket science, simple questions, ask the obvious stuff, be willing to be a bit vulnerable. And guys, one of the most powerful things you can do is just like say, oh, I don't know, or I'm not sure. Can you help me with this? Help me understand. It's, man, that'll you'll build so much rapport. You'll get so far. That's it.
I love it, brother. I love it. So, hey, we got Mason in the private chat right here in the audience where we're shooting this. It says, if I have a buyer in 100K population, is my market too small? I'm considering switching up markets or lists. Been struggling to find deals at 50 cents on the dollar. All right. So that's a great question for the Privy call. Let's bring Mason on. This special guest, like you said, this is not something we always do for the club members or people on our Discord, but let's freaking bring him on. What's up, Mason?
Yo, what's up?
So let's use Privy to answer your question, man. Let's
okay.
Welcome. Well, everybody give a shout out to Mason for being on here and taking action. All right. So Mason, let's look at this. What market are you currently in? Let's use Privy's data to find out if you're making if you're doing big things.
Privy. Well, I'm in San Angelo.
Is that California or what?
Texas.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, let's
Central Texas.
Central Texas. I could type it in, but I'm gonna zoom in because I kind of want to just zoom in and see what's going on. San Angelo.
San Antonio would be like the nearest metroplex for me.
Okay. Where's it on my screen right here? San Angelo. Where is it? Is it east, west, south, north?
You're gonna go north.
Okay. North. Is it like around here?
You're gonna go to continue to go north.
Okay, continue to go north.
Yeah. Go to the left.
All right. San
Junction.
Angelo.
All right, keep on going to the left.
Right.
Keep on going.
Now, where is this thing? Where is that San Angelo?
Ozona, you're getting closer.
Okay. I'll keep going. I'll keep going.
Fort Stockton. All right, you all right. So Fort Stockton is a little too west. Go down a little bit.
Might be easier to just type it in, but
Of course it is. I was just kind of, I kind of like
Yeah.
to see, I like to see what Privy's got for me, bro.
Gotcha. Yeah.
Angela, sorry, dude, that was a complete waste of everybody's time. The reason why I did that is because I was just, okay, let's kind of see what filters are, what kind of properties are coming in here. All right, so San Angelo, as I'm zooming out, Austin, San Antonio, Odessa, Fort Stockton. I'm just okay. So let's kind of see what. And are you using Privy at the moment or not really?
I got it recently and I don't know how to use it. So
what you would do is you would just look for deals. So this is what, according to the algorithm that it's finding, this is what it's saying. Like these are potential deals. So you'd call, click on these, you check. Unfortunately, in Texas, they don't have like the MLS data, which is fine. Not a lot of companies do like the rules, but this is the information it's giving you. So this is saying that according to the comps, that your house at 259, usually these sell for 378. So this is saying like this would be a good deal, right? So you would call, but what you have to find out there, if you look here, there are a lot of good, there's a lot of looks like crap, like opportunities to flip, but you want to make sure that this is a good fix and flip market. You know what I'm saying?
got it.
So let me see. Well, I mean, there's quite a bit of opportunities in there. I just know just from the population itself, like you're not going to have as many opportunities as you would in like Houston, right?
Right.
So tell me kind of about what your strategy is and what you got going on, like to find deals. Is it just Privy or what are you doing?
I also have batch leads. That's what I've been pulling lists from.
Okay.
And then I've been going on market for things sitting on the market for 90 days plus as well, reaching out to agents for any possible flip opportunities. Just kind of creating relationships, even if it's not like a fix and flip opportunity, just looking to see if they have buyers and stuff. So
yeah, because if you look at this at so what this is doing, the way I set it up is this is showing us where flips are, and you want to go where there's a lot of opportunities. If you're not going where there's a lot of opportunities, then then you're kind of limiting yourself. So San Angelo has a total of 8 opportunity. Well, it's saying 8, like according to this, right? 5 and 3. So that's not a lot. That's not a lot of activity. Can you become the kingpin of San Angelo? Can you become the number one guy that gets all the deals in San Angelo? You're on billboards. Everyone thinks of you. Of course. And there are people that I've talked to that are in like populations of 40 to 60 to 100,000, and they're crushing it. But these guys have been doing it for 40 years, and they're the go-to guys that everyone knows about. But you, as a brand new investor, I would say I would recommend to build your brand in San Angelo and tell people what you do, but I would not just focus all my time and energy looking at deals in San Angelo.
Got it. Perfect.
Yeah, if I could chime in on that real quick too, is so 100% you can still do deals in smaller market. It's not that you can't make money or do now. It's also one like, what's my goals, right? So if you're like, yo, I'm trying to do like $3 million this year in assignment fees in this market, probably not going to happen. But if you're like, dude, I'm trying to get my first deal or my second deal, or I'm trying to do 2-3 deals this year or whatever, right? There's still a lot you can do in a smaller market, and different strategies work really well in different markets. So, kind of what Nathan was just talking about, for the smaller market, dude, that's where that relationship game can be so powerful. And especially when you start with the end buyers, because it's like, dude, like very quickly, you could be the only guy that has really good relationships with all the buyers. It might just be like 4 or 5 dudes, right? That are legit. And the nice thing is, because it's not that active, one, it's easier for you to find deals, right? So especially like if you go the relationship route, just because there's not a whole lot happening there. So there's not a whole lot of people competing with you there either. So that's where I think there could actually be a really, really powerful kind of competitive advantage to going the relationship route in those tight markets, to where like, dude, you could spend no money and you'll really do deals just because like you just kind of make the calls and you know, get in front of the people, and it's like, oh yeah, Mason's like the only dude that wholesales. You know what I mean? And if you build a relationship, or I'm sorry, you kind of build that brand for yourself in a smaller market, you know, kind of what Nathan was saying. I mean, dude, it's like then like you're just the go-to guy in that town.
Yeah. So does that help you? I would still, obviously, if that's your main market, get tight with people, but know that the opportunities will be less and less than anywhere else.
Thank you guys. I appreciate it.
You got it, brother. All right. Well, so I'm bringing on Cheryl. Cheryl, how you doing? We're going to bring you on the call. What's going on?
Oh, yeah, everything's good.
I love that you're here. I'm so glad that you're able to make it. So Cheryl, everybody, Cheryl just joined our club, and I told her, hey, Cheryl, I'm going to give you a special. We're gonna call some leads together right now because I want to show you how to use Privy and answer any questions you have. So Cheryl, thanks for coming on. I appreciate it.
I can use Privy. I've been using it for a while.
All right. Well, let's do some calls then. Let's make some calls. I'll make some calls and I can answer any questions. Do you have anything specific that you're working on or have any questions for us?
Well, I've been working in my backyard in Nashville, but Nashville's not very fruity. It doesn't have a whole lot. I know I've got one house here. The agent said that evidently they've had two other wholesalers, and he said they didn't make the contingency date. So I assume they lost their money, or it could have been he was traveling. It could have been that they pulled out in time. I don't know.
So and they probably didn't find a buyer for it either, right? If they were trying to sell it.
And so I wonder if I should even go there with that. But I do know that the offer that they accepted was $215, and I was going to offer $200 starting out.
Well, would you like me to look at it?
Yes, please. Oh, I would love it. I would love it. It's 144 Haynes Park Drive.
All right, Cheryl, that's why we got you on here, because we're here to help you out. So 144 Haynes, Hay.
Yeah, Haynes Park Drive.
So 250 is the list price. Is that correct?
Right, that's right.
Okay, so we got 250, and I know you were telling me you're on the call we had yesterday because you joined, so we had that one-on-one strategy session. You're saying that coming up with the comps can be a little difficult sometimes in knowing what a buyer will pay. Is that what you're telling me?
Right, and then sometimes you've got to I need a chart. You have to make allowances for the bathroom and the square footage sometime because the comps you have are not exact enough.
Okay, I totally agree. So just using Privy right here, I'm able to just go down and it looks like there's a house that's actively on the market for sale at 325 that meets the criteria of what it's going for. Would we say 325 is probably what it would resell for?
Right. That's the ARV that I used was 325.
Okay. And according to Privy, it looks like someone bought it for 240 and is trying to resell for 325. So that's according to the information here. But the thing, I understand Benson, and I think there's a way that they do it like where it's really quick, where they're just like, okay, if this guy bought it at 240, if I get it at 240, then it will make sense. So I agree that makes sense. But sometimes I like to just dive a little bit deeper and say, okay, that house at 344 Kingview Drive, we don't really know what condition it was in when they bought it at 240. It could have been slightly better condition than this one. This one could be falling down. So I actually dive a little bit deeper. It's a good strategy to be quick about it, right? And just make a quick offer, but to go in a little bit deeper, I think that's what needs to be done. So let's look. So this one that you're telling me about, again, it's listed at 250. You offered 200 and the
well, I was going to offer 200 because I saw the ones that they didn't get through was 215. And he said they were at a point where they were thinking about just renting it.
Okay. So let me get my calculator out, which you have access to as well. And let me show you how we're going to run these numbers. All right.
Okay.
So this is someone calls this the famous wholesale calculator that I use because this thing it knows it can do everything. All right. I love it. It tells you what kind of options you should offer. It tells you how to if you should wholesale it, if you should rent it, if you should do novation, creative financing, BRRRR method. It even gives you a net sheet for the sellers. Okay. But here we are. We're going to write in the numbers. This is all we do. Because this is exactly what a flipper would do. A flipper would say, am I going to make money? So 325 is what, according to the ARV we just saw, like we're guesstimating just at the moment that it's 325.
Right.
It's listed at 250 at the moment. And it's kind of sad, but we can't really tell the condition it's in. Are there more pictures, or is this all you kind of get?
On the MLS, I had more pictures.
Okay. Let's take a look at the picture. I know
And
Privy always
then
has.
I looked on. I don't remember what I saw on. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, so Privy doesn't always have. That's okay. They don't have access, and that's in most places. You have to go to Zillow or MLS
Right.
anyway. But let's take a look. So this is the house. At 215, they could not get it done. 2 wholesalers. Okay, so we go here. All right, old kitchen. It doesn't, these cabinets are old. Flooring's old. You got the Formica. That's old. It's gonna need a new kitchen if you're gonna flip it. Carpet. It's gonna need carpet and paint. Bathrooms. If you're going to do a flip, you're going to have to redo the bathrooms. So even though this looks clean, even though it's a clean looking house, if you want to flip this, you're going to have to do, it's going to be like a medium flip. It's not going to be a basic rehab. A basic rehab would be carpet paint and they rent it out. But this, if you look at the comp that we're looking at here, for us to get it to something looking like that with the nice countertops and the floors, you're going to have to put in a medium rehab. So let me show you exactly what that looks like. So
I thought about $40 per square foot instead of 25.
Let's take a look at it.
Okay.
So if it's 1,000, let's just say 1,200 square feet right here. That's where we put it in. To do a flip, that's 1,200 square feet. It's probably, you're going to have about 5 months of hold time if you're a flipper. Buy it, fix it up, maybe take a month or two to resell it. You're going to have hard money costs, 6% when you relist it for buyers, agent, and listing agent, 1% closing costs. And if it's a medium rehab, it's saying it's going to be $28,000, right?
Right.
And I actually think it's going to be more than 28. I know this is what the numbers say, but this one's going to actually need bathroom. This medium would be a bathroom, but let's go ahead and let's see what it would be if it was everything 40. I don't think it'd be quite 48,000 for this. So I'm going to just say it's right going to be right in the middle. I'll say 42.5. Okay. So if I bought the house at 250, what it's listed at, obviously no one's doing that. You're going to lose money, right? And we're assuming that it's worth 325. It might not even be worth 325. That's just what this thing is active at. But we can also see that this was dropped down 20K. So they were actually at 3, and this has not sold yet. So maybe what's it called? 325 is a little, we're getting a little, hopeful there, because to get a rehab to this point, they did a really good job, and it's not selling at 325. So I'm actually going to lower my ARV from 25. I'll say 315 because they looks like they did a good job. Looks really clean. So
are there any before and after photos? I know there was a tab for it. Sometimes they'll actually have interior photos.
Yeah, it looks kind of like the one that we did. So they actually painted the outside. So if you start painting the outside, then it starts getting a little bit more expensive. So this rehab, to get it to the style that they have, well, yeah, shoot, it's probably going to be like a, quite a large project. So that's probably why a lot of people are, let's actually go 50 because, you have to look outside.
I think so, yeah.
Cheryl, does that sound about fair? $50,000 rehab to get it up to the ARV of about?
Yeah, I think so because the materials and labor, yes, I think 50 is a good price. I had put 45, but I think 50 is good. And see, we're assuming the roof is okay. You just go on that assumption, right?
Of course, we're assuming that, right? And if the roof is not okay, we got to add a couple extra thousand. So right now where we're at, if I'm a flipper, we don't even have our wholesale fee in this. If I bought it at 250, I'm losing 24,000 and I'm negative 8% on my net margin. I'm losing a ton of money. So if I'm just a flipper, I want to get in the green. I want to
Right.
make 15 to 20%. Obviously, there's some flippers that will make 10 to 15, but I want to get in the green. So I got to drop my offer down as just a flipper, no wholesaler. Let's see what happens if I put it into 200,000. So even at 200,000 right here, Cheryl, we're at 9%. We're not even in the 10. We're not even in the yellow. We're not even in the green. We're at 9%. And that's not with the wholesale fee included. So when these guys were doing it at 215, you know why they couldn't sell it is because they were wholesale it to the flipper, and the flipper's looking at it like, yeah, I'm going to make any money. I'm making 4% of my money. So this is a lot of wholesalers. They kind of go with the gut feeling, or they just try to get as low as they can. When for me, and what I teach you guys, and I'm trying to show the Privy Nation, is it's a numbers game. This is all a flipper does. If you send a flipper a house to buy, the first thing he does is he says, let me see if I'm going to make money. And and as wholesalers, we try to manipulate the numbers so it's a good deal. We're like, well, maybe it's actually 330, you know, maybe it's not 50K, maybe it's actually 30,000. He can get away with that. So we try to make the numbers work. But when a flipper puts his numbers in, he's like, you know, actually the market might go down a little bit. It might be 315 now, but when I'm done in 5 months, it might be 305. Who knows? And he's like, you know, things might happen. I might run into a big problem. Instead of me doing 50, let me do 55 just to be safe. So that number, that flipper is being really cautious about what he does. And that's the problem with wholesaling and flippers is like, we try to make deals work, and flippers, most of the time they buy deals if it's an obvious thing to make money. That's why a lot of people get out of wholesaling and they're like, let me just flip it because I already got a great deal. And they just fix it up a little bit. They put it on the MLS. So really for this deal to make sense, you would have to be, let's just say 315 and let's say 50, because I think those are the real numbers. I think you'd have to get this around 180. The flipper would make his 16%, and I would add my wholesale fee. I add it right here into the repair costs. I'll just say an extra 15K, so 65,000. So see, that brings it down too low. I would have to make less of a wholesale fee for it to make sense.
So that's basically not a good deal.
It's not a good deal. No, I would never flip this if I were you, because if you brought me this deal, I'd say, do I want to put $60,000 in 5 months of my hard work to make 13%? Not really. And that doesn't even, you know, what if there's bigger issues, right? What if the market goes down? So you guys have to look at it from the position of the flipper. They're not dumb. And if you catch one that maybe is an agent and he doesn't have to pay 6%, so he only pays 3%, or he's got a crew and he can do it in 3 months. That's why we teach the painless wholesaling method, because by knowing who your buyers are, you can manipulate and change the numbers to according to what they want. So Nate, if I call Nate and I know Nate, the normal buyer is going to take 6 months, and he's not an agent, yeah, that's the percentage. But if I know Nate and he's like, yo, Nate's quick, he's like, you can get it done very fast. Sorry, I don't know what that is. All right, cool. No, you're good. But yeah, if I know Nate is quick and he can get it done, then I can change the numbers up and make the deal and know that the deal would work for him. So that's why instead of just, you know, going straight into when people are brand new, just looking for deals, I think it's important to know your buyers in the area and what they want, because then you can bring them probably deals that you normally would pass on. Cheryl, do you have any questions?
Yeah, and you know, I've been hesitant on that because I saw they, you know, 2 different tries and they didn't get it. But I see now it is not a good deal.
It's
and
not.
That's where I'm weak. I need to be able to pick out a good deal.
Yeah, and most important thing, Cheryl, is being really confident when you're talking to that agent, and he's making you second guess yourself. You're talking to him, he's like, no, 215 is a great deal, and you're in the past, if you don't run the numbers. There's something going on with Cheryl's mic, but no worries. But Cheryl, in the past, you might have just been not certain when you're talking to that real estate agent and made that offer. But now with this, you can say, look, I have the numbers right in front of me. If I flip this at 215 with the way I'm running my numbers, I'm going to lose. I'm only going to make $1,000. And you can actually send this sheet to, I actually take a screenshot of this and I send it to the real estate agent and say, hey, look, I'm not greedy, but this is where I'm at, and that's why.
Okay. Because see, he was on vacation, so I never made. Something told me not to make an offer, but I was gonna go 200. But now see, I don't. I will try 180 though. I will.
Well, let's actually make sure if you're going to make an offer, let's make sure it's solid. Okay. So 180, if it's really worth 315 and it's a 50K rehab, but I threw 10K in there for you for your wholesale fee.
Okay.
Someone would take this deal. I know it's in the yellow, but someone would be willing to make 38%, 38,000, a 12% return on their money. You know, I think you could find somebody.
Okay.
Now, if you want to be 100% certain that someone will take this deal, you just want to be able to get it so they make it in the green. So if someone would 100% take that deal at that price, because they're making a great return.
Okay.
But if I know a lot of us were like, well, we can't get that low, or maybe we don't feel confident. Well, if you want to be 100% confident, get in the green. If not, then
I don't have nothing beats a failure but a try.
There you go. I love it.
Yeah. So I will offer 170.
And Cheryl, by the way, this is Nathan. I don't know. Oh yeah, you saw him on the call we did. He's going to be running a call every Wednesday in the club for everybody that's watching this, that's in it, where he's going to practice with you guys and show you guys how to navigate the Discord, and also how to use this calculator, because this goes hand in hand with Privy, in my opinion. Privy,
okay. What time on Wednesday?
I'll send you the information after this.
Okay.
But this goes hand in hand with Privy. You look at it, Privy gives you a good idea, in my opinion, of what to offer, and then you just dive in a little bit deeper just to make sure.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Can I ask a quick question while we have you, Cheryl?
Yes.
Do you already have buyers that you've reached out to?
I do. I have, and one reached out to me. So in Nashville, I've got like 3 buyers.
And do you know what they're buying at? What their buy box is?
Well, one says they didn't give me a figure, but they said send me everything. But someone reached out to me yesterday because he wanted to buy my townhouse, and he told me that he was anything under 500,000.
So, because the other thing you can do, so that's, with making your offer, that's the other thing that plays a really big part, is knowing what your buyers can pay, because then you know exactly what to, because in my market, I've got buyers to where I know guys that can pay 10%, and some guys, they're looking to just make a flat, hey, they want to make this amount of money at the end of the deal. So for me, when I'm looking at deals, it's really helpful because I've asked, when I chat with them, I ask questions and I really get kind of a bit more in depth as far as what are they actually looking for. Because then when I look at a deal, I've got guys to where I already know every single number to calculate, and I know exactly where my offer would need to be. And then secondly, the other thing you could do is, if you're really not sure, like if you don't think there's a chance of being able to get the deal at the price that you needed to get it at, or if you're really unsure, you can just ask. You can reach out to your buyer and say, hey, I'm looking at a property. I'm still negotiating it. What price do you think you would need to be at in order for this to be a good fit for you?
Oh, okay.
And I would just ask him.
Yeah. Let me give you an example, Cheryl, like how I navigate with my buyers. So I'm about to call one right now. Let's see if she answers, and let me show you the conversation.
Okay.
So I have a deal that I'm trying to wholesale, and we talked about it last call. This one is in Del Rio, Texas. All right. And she's telling me what her buyers are willing to pay. She's an agent. So I'm going to call her, just check in on her. Let's see what she's got to say.
Okay.
Hello.
Antonietta, how you doing?
Doing great. How are you?
Good. Hey, I wanted to just follow up with you. Do you have a couple minutes to chat?
Yes.
So I know you said that the buyer on that property that we have, they offered 50,000. Is that right?
Yes.
So do you have anybody else in the pipeline that you think might be able to come higher, or do you think that's what we're gonna get?
No, we can counter on this one.
Okay.
You offer 50, but we can counter. What is the amount you can take?
So right now, currently, I have the house under contract for 60,000. Correct.
Okay.
So he's at 50. So he's $10,000 less than what I have it for. But I can go back to the seller and renegotiate and say, hey, look, we've had the house. It's changed a lot over the last 2 years. We can't pay what we did. It's gotten worse condition. So I think we might be able to get it down to maybe 50. But if he's at 50 and I get it down to 50, we don't make any money. So do you think you could potentially get him up to like 65? So we're still make 15 if I get down to 50 and I can pay you your fee?
I can try. Yes. Let me count. Let me call.
If you can counter and we can, if we can get him to 65, even if I can't renegotiate this deal, at least we make $5,000 because I have it at 60 and I can still pay your fee out of it. But if I can renegotiate it and we get it 65, then great. Then we all win. But I do have another question. If we can't get him to come up and he stays at 50, is listing it with you or getting the seller to, like, we could do a novation where I basically have them sign a power of attorney and then I can list it with you. Is that an option, or do you think this is going to sit on the market for a very long time?
I think it's gonna. I think we can put it on the market and we can list it. Like I said, we could probably put it at 85.
Okay, so the options are we can get this one buyer to come up to 65 or whatever he can with the counter, and if not, I'm going to go to the seller and say, hey, we probably can list this thing, but we'll see if they want to list it. They might just try and sell it to another investor. So I'm just trying to get this thing done.
Okay, sounds good.
Okay. Do you have any questions for me?
No, let me work on this. Let me call the investor right now.
All right. We've been working on this for too long. We got to get paid.
Okay. Let me see what I can do.
All right. See you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye. All right. So what I did, again, I like talking to people. So you might think like me and her hang out and we're friends. Like that's my 4th call with her. That's it. Like we're just, I just call her and I say, hey, I got a deal. Can you bring me some buyers? What would they pay? So this is a situation right here that Cheryl, that you're kind of in. You have a house, 215 is what they want, but you don't know, it's not a deal. So you would call your buyers and be like, hey, look, 215 is what they want, but what can you do? Kind of like what I asked her, like, what can they do? Can they come up? And she's going to come back and she's going to say, yes, they can do 65 or whatever. You would call your buyer and say, what could you do? He would come back and say, look, I can't do 215, but I can do 195. So then when you call that agent, you would call and you would say, I can do 185. And then there's your $10,000 fee. So you don't have to worry about dispoing it. You don't have to do anything. You already have the person. They told you what they're good for, and you just got to make phone calls.
Okay. Now, just another question from a previous deal I had. They said they didn't want online properties, not online, not online, but they didn't want listed properties. Do you have an answer for that? Should I ask them before? Does it matter if it's on or off market?
Yes, I would ask them why. That's what I would ask them, because if you can bring someone a great deal that's listed, why wouldn't you want it? What would be the reason, right? So if I ever have someone says, don't bring me on market properties, they'd say, hey, just curious why, like if I'm able to get you one that's not listed or one that is listed, what's the difference? Just curious. Because if we're going to be working together, I want to know, how you work, be really cool about it. And that's how I'd navigate that.
Okay. Now, wouldn't a double close alleviate that anyway, if you had to?
It would alleviate that, but usually with double closes, you have to close and pay the closing costs and pay transactional funding, which can sometimes cut into like $6,000, $8,000, $2,000. You want to avoid a double close if you can, because it costs you money.
Okay. Thank you.
The other thing with that is when you try to sell, they'll still see if it's a listed property, they'll still see that it's listed. I know for me in my market, that's actually, I ask a lot of buyers that question because there's a lot of guys that actually care about that for whatever reason. Some of them, and I'll ask too, because they'll be like, oh, I don't buy listed properties. They'll be like, oh, okay. So, and I like to use like a hypothetical. I'm like, okay, got it. So like, even if it's an amazing deal and it's like, and the price I'm looking to sell it to you for is like 80,000 less than the list price, like you're totally not interested at all, right? And a lot of times the guys that I've asked, they're like, yeah, no, sorry. They're like, we can't do it. And typically they're bigger companies. And the reason why, well, the most recent person I spoke with about it, their company, it has to do with where they get all their funding from, and for whatever the lending requirements and stipulations are for them, it just, they can't buy anything that's listed or on market. I know sometimes there's some hedge funds to where they're like that too. Sometimes they will buy stuff on market, sometimes they won't. And unfortunately for those bigger buyers, they're like, yeah, sorry, we get it. Because it's funny, the person I spoke with, he's like, dude, I get it. He's like, I think it's dumb. He's like, a deal's a deal. But he's like, it's that, yeah, the way the lending and stuff set up, they just won't do it. But yeah, I encourage, ask all the time.
Yeah, I guess it's best for full disclosure and also to say, keep from wasting your time.
Exactly. Yeah. The name of the game, Cheryl, is saving your time, because this processes of making offers and talking to agents, it is very time consuming if you don't or if you're not quick about it. So I have a purpose when I talk to everyone. It's like, get it done quick, because we could be on the phone for an hour. If we want. So Cheryl, let me ask you this before we let you go and we wrap up this call. Okay. Was this helpful today? Were we able to?
Very. Thank you all very much, because I'm one-on-one, and I know you can't do that all the time, but yes, it was very beneficial. I appreciate it.
Well, Cheryl, when I heard you, when you talked to me on that call and you told me kind of your journey, where you've been, like, the goal for us and Nate and Privy, we do this call and we do a lot of this is to help everyone out. Like, obviously we're not available to everyone, but it's time. Like I said, not everybody has a ton of time. So we got to make sure that everyone on here that's watching us knows how to use it efficiently and effectively, or you could be, another 2 years and just waste it on things that don't transpire into revenue. Right. So that's why we did it. So thanks for coming on, and we appreciate you coming and participating.
Okay. Thank you. Now, what about tonight?
We got you covered. We'll send you the link for tonight.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much.
We'll see you there.
You guys have a great rest of the day.
You got it, girl. So, Nathan, that was good. I feel like that was good to actually run through a scenario, and I hope that helps everybody that's watching this. This is not it's not very complicated. It's just a lot of people. I see people saying they want my offer sheet. Like, I built this thing. I spent thousands of dollars building this. So I don't actually just give this one away for people who are watching it. But if you are interested in this spreadsheet that helps not only me make offers, but also, run comps, but it actually helps me make offers to sellers. I actually just walk through their options. You just come to our webinar. We have a masterclass every Thursday. Well, we have one this Thursday, right, Nate? So I'll throw the link in. Actually, I'll just show you guys how to do it. All you got to do is go to painlesswholesaling.com and it should populate. Maybe here. All right. So if it's not Painless Wholesaling, it's investorthrive.com. Let's see which one is quicker.
One other thing, guys, is back to Cheryl and her situation, is the other thing I would do is that property she was looking at. And if you're using Privy, it's perfect. So those other red sold properties right around hers that popped up as comps, I would click and I would look at them, and I would look at them as flips. And even the active property that we looked at, that was a flip. That was a fix and flipper. I would look up the person that fix and flipped that house, and I'd call them and I'd say, hey, I saw you just did this flip. It came out really nice. I'm in negotiations right now with one right around the corner. Would you be interested in another flip? And then that's who I would look to try and work the deal with, because they already know the neighborhood. They just did a project there, and they'll be able to give you really good feedback, right? I think that house was sitting for a bit. So he might be like, oh no, we bought this way too high, like nothing's selling. We'd have to be really low. Or he's like, yeah, this hasn't sold yet, but if we can get it for the right price, I really like these houses. We know how to turn them out real quick and whatnot.
100%.
Yeah. So that's 100% what I would do. And one thing, man, as far as kind of what we talk about, I'm glad we got to have Cheryl on here. I know we got a few new people with us today also that were part of our masterclass last night. But guys, that right there, like, that's the difference between someone where it takes 2, 3, 4, 5 years to finally do a deal, and someone that can get their answers, their questions answered right away, hey, I've got this on the hook right now, because the information that Cheryl got, that could be the difference from her making money and not making money.
Right.
And from her knowing what to do and know what not to do. And Privy's the tool. I love Privy, man. I love it. I love everything about it. Benson, those guys are great over there, and I know they're only doing more stuff and they're only getting better with it too, which is awesome.
Yeah. So what I want to tell everyone there now, is obviously we have the Deal Finding Friday. We're not able to spend a ton of we only have an hour, right? But if you want to learn more about using Privy and how we have those resources that can help you, we have a free masterclass. So go ahead and sign up if you haven't done it already. And like I said, it's free. We'd love to have everybody on there that can. We kind of go over how we use Privy and other softwares and our strategy on exactly what we just showed today to do deals. So wish me luck, everybody. I hope that Antonietta and Del Rio can bring me a deal. Hope that Henry, I hope you learn too that, we just don't send anyone through a house just because they said, let me walk through. You got to vet them. And Henry, you've been in the audience. Do you got anything to say, brother, before we dip?
Yes. I keep trying to contact, not contact, send an email to on the cash buyer list, and then I had to be careful from now on.
You just have to vet. After someone responds and they say, I want to see the house, you just have to say, hey, no worries. Let's hop on a phone call. Texting is cool. I get it. You like to text. A lot of people like to text. I like to hop on a phone to see who I'm really dealing with. Because I just don't want to send anyone to a house. All right.
All right. And do I need for them to submit the offer on the web page also?
He's talking. We made a landing page, Henry. A verbal offer is fine if they can text you, if they can tell you what they want. Submitting an offer, that doesn't really mean anything. I know I have that on that landing page, but yeah, just get a verbal from them and see what they're willing to do. If they can agree to our terms or close to it, yeah, then let me talk to them and we'll show them the house and hopefully we can make $40K in the next 2 weeks.
All right,
Henry. Well, hey, everybody. Give shout out to Henry, Cheryl, Mason, everyone that participated. We like I said, we're bringing more people in here because, me and Nate could just talk and show you how to do deals. But honestly, I want to share the love and show as many people what we do, right? And that's make offers, painless way, using Privy. So everyone have a great day. Know that it takes action to make money. So watching me is great. Watching Nate's great. Watching all of us, but it ain't going to make you money unless you're calling somebody or you pick up that phone.
That's right, man. And guys, again, anybody that hasn't already attended or gotten to see, guys, definitely it's the masterclass. It's totally free. It doesn't cost you any money. If you do sign up, seriously, bring a notepad, bring a pen, and just make sure you've got some energy ready to focus and take a ton of notes. We give a ton of information. We talk a lot, about the process that we're talking about. A lot of the things that we just went over with Cheryl, right? I mean, the things we just talked about with Cheryl, that's the difference between, walking away, not getting a deal and putting 20 grand in your bank account. I'd like to
in that bank account. Get that money.
So yeah, hope anybody that's interested, man, guys, definitely sign up. Would love to see you there.
All right, man. Peace out, everybody. Have a great time. And if you thought we did a good job today, come let us know somehow on any of our platforms. And if you think we suck, let us know. We love feedback. All right, peace out. Maybe just comment in this YouTube video. All right, peace.